This poem is called Skipping. It's in three parts: morning, afternoon, and evening. It's poem number 7 of Crow Search. Morning. Once again clouds cover the sun as a stiff south breeze passes them north. The shade will be short-lived, as patches of blue are plenty amid the floating islands of silver. It becomes the separation of color. My instrument lay straight ahead, propped against the decor of railroad ties, which serve as a custom fence. I believe I'll play the chord, a quick flick, and something sleek. For as predicted, though an easy premonition, the sun has returned. Part 2, Afternoon. On the job at 12:30 on this Wednesday. Warm invigorates, and on all accounts it should promote sales. Plan being 10 or 5:30, whichever comes first, a hidden code for me. The woman across left is a nice, splendid face in Ethiop's design, a little touch of Shakespeare. Darkened throughout history, impregnated the gene of pigment upon its inner core. They live near the equator, the equatorial divide. Surely nothing too scientific about the angles of the coloring sun. Some certain in gold skin and the same hair go interplanetary by way of chance. Fate has it, holds it, and continues to maintain it. At 1:15 there are 5 sold. A woman who taught in Japan, bought, then bantered, long before running off for what she coined her certification course. Another gentleman to my close right enjoys a tuna sandwich before he devours the sun-kissed orange, which rests unpeeled next to the paper plate on which the tuna's other half on thick wheat remains, as the other, as mentioned, is promptly being stuffed into his mouth as tomatoes ooze out from the inside. The Grateful Dead start up on a music box owned by 2 women 2 tables down, who promote full-scale recycling while distributing tidbit handy pieces of literature on the very same subject. A rather gay black man of, say, 40 talks to a frail white girl about what a joke it was when his friend claimed, "I've made it," referring to his financial success as a business executive selling copiers or the like. His expression of sarcasm cannot be relived, but I will say, in hearing and watching his dark scarred face, I laughed through my nose in quick bursts pumping, trying to restrain, or else he knows I'm eavesdropping, let alone doing a little storytelling. Things have slowed considerably at 2:20 after a hot stretch when the tall pines surrounding this Union Square played no part in shading. Though I expect 3 more before heading to that Mediterranean restaurant on Ponce de Leon and 2nd, it's really hard to tell. I might come up empty-handed. At 3:50 in pretzels, a banana, passing clouds, then more of the same trippy psychedelic tunes, reference upon reference, lapse with development. And the speaker begins to abhor the self-aware intervening fashion that no longer implies democracy. Nothing left to do except run, jump, and be on my merry way. Sketches must continue, 10 being not far off. The W's waltz onward in frequent turnstile runway moves, from short hair to short skirts, exposing juicy loins, making me stand bent as she walks around the corner, which is the same thing Donne, my sad imprisoned friend, described to Eliot after John slipped a keynote into T.S.'s tea, who before it hit was enjoying an ordinary though pleasant Sunday lunch in the English gardens of Munich. near the fountains with a lady of his dear fancy. Though, of course, once it took effect, T.S. turned a blushing blue, a slight hue different from John's purple lips, which were now savoring a thick slice of lemon, peel and all. He ate the peel due to the keynote's magical effect. T.S. smiled as John wrote it down. 5:50 p.m. and finished. Reached my goal, sending me for that falafel and oasis salad. The 3-mile walk should set my appetite as I stroll through the city of Atlanta. Evening. 3:30 a.m. feels like New Amsterdam. Black Elk speaks. Trojan on fire. Lisa K. Bryant, and you know about the swing shift and release. Get a towel quick. It became clean. Sorry, Lisa. Jobs by hand and day laborers, or at least the immediate longed for in romance, is that classical guitar, 3-top steel and 3 nylon being the lower trebles. But being a pure spook of mind and body, he must move onward. She holds strange music, metal-studded black patent leather, an odd favorite. What kind of observations are those? Do you hear what I hear? I don't know what to do anymore. Is she joking? Lisa, are you? Am I missing the lark on the bough? New York amber being the faint rusted piston amber of the New York Lights, Eden's Express of an old suburbia. Forget the day. I wound up in Wilmette with a bad headache and a bloody nose. Those were the days of fog and roses. Forget the year. I can now hear the birds. Not often do I stay up through the night. Wonder what causes it, what's for it. Began watching a TV melodrama feeling clumsy like a burning jay. The bird, like a sloa. Put on rollerblades on rental, being little to no private ownership, pie in the sky, and skated off paying a due to the art. Maybe a camcorder to film the home movies, Miss O'Connor and the Manic Monologues. Joe spoke of the plastic patio furniture, white and round. He told me it became a part of him, seeing as you might your future ex-wife, who pushed big barrels of that no-good skepticism down your gullet, which made turned remembering to forget a similar frustration. Goddamn giants! Point of assumption seeing Freud, EUD, Eugene, School of the Arts Underwood, and Sir Preston Hightower, searing cooked and frozen in the open meat locker. This village, he thought, if nowhere else there was a fine place. Actually, it was a tribe setting up teepees with an order is that they believed in the illusion. Illusion being real or dream of those goofy evangelists on the television. And since the Injuns have all been slaughtered, we are left with cute malls and their shit brick brown stripped in neon. The great places are gone forever. Those who worship the sun are gone for good. This village is nothing of the sort. In response to what your project is likely to fund, I was happy to see your lack of interest in the polemic. I too avoid the art of dispute. I would not claim to be singular, but I do avoid the art of dispute. Singularity, like representation, is never surrendered, only shaved close, hoping for no nicks smooth. Mitch Miller's letter to Miss Frances. I was shocked to find out they were having sex. Between the book I was reading and the sleeping pills, actually blues, they could have fooled me. But for 50, Miss Mary Frances was highly fuckable. He knew it too. He could also appreciate he knew she wanted him. No chance of birth was the first thought after Mitch deliberated his small decision. In fact, to cut it short, it was consummated. He gave it a 4th of July surprise, short of rubber rings, still happy that at 50 he trusted Miss Mary Frances had no ability to grow pregnant. Why this obsessed him in a certain way upset him, if not to admit total confusion. Because as it rang northward, the fireworks were all let off. Boom! The last being a full-colored explosion without a bang. Simply poof. Rubbers, he realized, could have no effect on the bleeding one way or another. He knew he was fooled. She didn't need intercourse, that being the moment he gave it to her. When she was resigned to not having it, he went for it, knowing then she craved it. Otherwise, Miss Frances must initiate. After it was all said and done, he felt the loss, this being the last wasted words in directions of no return. A phone with no number can only call out. Knee bent, musk on neck, and huddled in spiffy room, fan buzzing new since fall, he came close. But that redemption again in the drama of music, 3-top metal bass, and the variation of nylon, when painted or slapped in Spanish anger, the classical guitar, the immediate, somehow sheds light.